Standing on the top now. No, nothing can move you.
He did it again, y'all. He basically sat there and told some people, F you, black people. Oh, Jim Crow, Uncle Ruckus, John C. Calhoun, James Clyburn. Watch this.
The HBCUs, that's a great thing, but statistics shows that 20% of Black Americans are college educated. Meanwhile, the 20% of us have a whole bunch of debt, right? The other 80% of Black Americans mostly work in the service economy. But it's good for the HBCUs.
This guy sound like the information man with all them stats. Shout out to my man, Information Man. Make sure you go check out his channel because that's the man who got all the numbers. Let me set this back up. James Clyburn was at a town hall, and the show wasn't Jasper County. And two young black men decide to confront James Clyburn with a question. And here we go. Let me set it back up again.
The HBCUs, that's a great thing, but statistics shows that 20% of Black Americans are college educated. Meanwhile, the 20% of us have a whole bunch of debt, right? The other 80% of Black Americans mostly work in the service economy. So that's good for the HBCUs, but the rest of Black America is pretty much being starved out. That's all I wanted to say. And on top of that, with HR 40, we were on something called Fix HR 40, where we put pressure on all of our congressional leaders to get HR 40 to the floor. We sat there for about 10 hours and watched that whole judiciary process. We saw it play out. Nancy Pelosi can bring that to the floor anytime she wants. We have been monitoring HR 40 and it's been stalled out for the most part.
You wanted it on the floor, you wanted the passage.
What we're trying to say, sir, is that because of public pressure, so for history, right? HR.
All right, let me stop there. Did you hear this fool? Did you hear this fool? Let me go back and play that. It's why people in South Carolina, this man is hurting you. Black people in South Carolina, because his number one is you guys and some white constituents that loves the black man who loves to kiss up to white establishment. You know, the go along, get along guy, the yes or master guy, the Mr. Candy is nice man. That guy. These people are the ones that are hurting you. And again, it's these elderly, and shout out to my elderly people. I mean, I love you, but you guys got to stop this crap. This man ain't done nothing for you in 20, 30, 40 years. And now y'all want him to do that to the next generation? And then he's trying to train up Jamie Harrison to do the same thing. Who's the chair of the DNC? This man said there was what you want, which one you want? You want them to vote on or pass on it. Fool, you cannot pass nothing until you vote on it. I don't care if they have to go through 10 freaking no's to get to a yes. Put it on the floor and vote for it. That's what's wrong with the doggone squad. The doggone squad had an opportunity to put the pressure on Nancy Pelosi and say, look, you need to put Medicare for all on the floor. We're in a freaking crisis right now. People are dying. At that time, it was, I think, 350,000 people died to COVID. Primary because they only want to get them propped up on what medication on a hope for a virus instead of telling people what was working at the time. HCQ, azithromycin, and zinc. I say that because that's how I beat COVID. I beat COVID that way. At the height of a pandemic, and Nancy Pelosi being in a position to reclaim her throne again or get another term as the chair, you had her by the cojones. You could have put pressure on her to vote for Medicare for all or I'm not going to support you for Speaker of the House. But no, you let her strong arm you, and she got a free speakership again without any kind of tangibles, without power, without a demand, concede nothing. You gave her no demand. The grassroots and the progressive movement put a demand out there, marched on it, and demand you guys to put a demand on her. And they caved in. And now you so-called progressives, what you gonna do now? How are you gonna handle these people who caved into your demand, who did not even do what you wanted them to do? How are you gonna punish them? See, the problem is we let these people continue to do this crap to us, and we don't make them pay. Therefore, they feel free to talk to you like James Clyburn talking to these brothers. You don't talk to no black man like that, man. Are you crazy? See, when what's his name? I can't think of his name. I hate not being able to think of the brother name. When he went and confronted James Clyburn about reparation with cash payment, he had some old grandmas over there talking about hush up. I'm sorry, man, but you hush up. Because I'm not going to go through 20 years of nothing like you guys did. No, I'm going to be in his face, and I'll be in y'all face too. Respectfully, ma'am. Hush up. Are you freaking kidding me? And here these brothers. James Clyburn figure I'm just going to talk to you just like I talk to anybody else. No, the heaven and hell you ain't. You work for me, bruh. I don't work for you.
Leaders to get HR 40 to the floor. We sat there for about 10 hours and watched the whole judiciary process. We saw it play out. Nancy Pelosi can bring that to the floor anytime she wants. We have been monitoring HR 40 and it's been stalled out for the most part.
You wanted to come to the floor, you wanted to pass.
What we're trying to say, sir, what we're trying to say.
And here these old people, these kiss up, right. You dumb fools, you can't get nothing passed until it go to a full vote. That's how it go. You put it for a floor vote, and then if everybody agree to it, you pass. You put it to a floor vote, and if everybody don't agree to it, you don't pass it, but you know who said no, so you can get their butt out of office and put somebody in office that's gonna say yeah. Why you guys look, I'm not the highly most knowledgeable, educated man. I'm a street brah. I dropped out of Virginia State because I had a baby on the way. So I'm not your super duper highly educated black theocrat. I'm not that dude. And even I know that. Little kids know that. Little kids know how you get a bill passed. You gotta put it for a vote. You may not get it passed the first time, but you keep putting it for a vote until you get it passed. This fool is telling y'all that the only way you're going to get it passed is you got to wait till everybody come along and get along in order to pass it. No, you don't. You put it to a floor vote, find out who's with it and who's not, and those who not, you get rid of them behind. Let me calm down.
Say, sir, is that because of public pressure, so for history, right? HR 40, right, it was introduced by John Conyers in 1987. It sat dormant for over 30 years, right?
No.
So, yes, it did, sir. Yes, it did.
Every year.
He introduced it every year, but it never got passed. We're talking about something almost my whole adult life. This thing never passed that.
And it would never get passed until you put it for a floor vote. Brother named Jamie Fowler. Thank you, information man. It would never get passed until it get voted. Yeah. These lazy black Negro, and it's mostly the elderly Negro politicians sitting up in the CBC. They got their endorsement. They got their cushy job. They sat on it. If you get rid of them right now, they're cool. They're gonna get a check for life. They get hungry, they can go to the Congress, show their pass and get something to eat. You can't do that. They got a check for life. You don't have a check for life. They can go sit on these boards like James Clyburn's daughter did. That was the exchange that he got for endorsing Joe Biden. The exchange he didn't get wasn't for you, it's for his kids, not yours. not yours. They good. And they want to thank you. Thank you for keep putting me in office now. I don't give a crap. I'm not going to bust my behind. I'm old enough to leave this earth now. And I'm training some idiot to take over. And do exactly what I'm doing. Marsha Fudge and Miss Brown, nothing. James Clyburn and Jamie Harrison, nothing. Y'all gonna vote them in though. Why? Because we gotta vote for one of them. I ain't voting Republican, so I gotta support the Democrat, even though they ain't gonna do nothing for me either. I know the Republicans ain't gonna do for me, but at least I got hope that the Democrat is gonna part. Where's the hope? This fool just telling you how not to get something passed by waiting until it's popular. Well, it's got some steam, James Clyburn. You need to vote. Whether it's popular or not, you still need to put it to a floor vote.
Now there is public sentiment. There's energy behind it, right? The CBC just they did a Twitter poll. They asked us, what do you prefer? Do you prefer, hold on a second, so I'm almost done. Sir, it's all due respect. There's no emotion in this. We're just concerned.
They don't tell them to hurry up.
We're just highly concerned because by 2050, Black American wealth is going to be at zero. Meanwhile, other groups' wealth are going upward while our wealth is deteriorating. So we're just highly concerned.
Information man, this your brother.
We just want a better quality of life for ourselves and our children. I have 2 children myself. The tax credit is great. It's great. But after the tax child credit, it's like that's just paying the bills and that's it. It's still not helping us out of the predicament that we're in, which is concerning. So that's it. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your lecture.
We'll address, we're gonna move on, we have to allow others.
Yeah, we move. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I'm just gonna let that sit there. The brother speaking truth. Like Information Man said, tell the truth. Brother speaking truth. Tax credits don't do nothing. It ain't gonna give us 3 months ahead on our rent. It's not even gonna give us 3 months on the car payment, a tax credit. A child tax credit. And most of us don't have children. Everybody in the United States ain't got no children where they can claim a child tax credit. These Negroes sit there in Congress and act like a child tax credit is going to benefit all black people. It's not. But it will benefit the white people. It will benefit Asian. It will benefit all people who have kids. This brother told him, look, we need to do something. Our financial wealth gap is going to come to zero if we don't get something done right now. The whites going to have the majority and everybody else is going to pass us. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe certain communities are supposed to look out for the community. I got no problem with Asia and Chinatown and all that, and Chinatown securing their area and making sure that whatever buildings get built, they get the profit off that. That's what they're supposed to do. Same thing with Spanish Harlem. That's what they're supposed to do. But when it comes to black people in Africatown or Soulville or whatever, they doing whatever they can to get us out of there. And then we got these elected officials who's not going to come in our defense. Charlie Ringo sit down and let these people just buy up Harlem. Let the Russians, the Chinese, and Arabs just buy up Harlem. And black people who live in Harlem, you sold out. Instead of using your property and your land, instead of buying the property, use the property in your land where you could profit off of it, you took the quick buy, you moved down to Florida, or let's say Virginia or whatever, and got you a nice Atlanta, got you a nice home and everything down there. While these people are making 3 times more money than you got in your pocket to retire, when you could have been making consistently money on top of money as you go down there and retire in Atlanta. This man sat there and told him, we're dying out. We're dying out. The community is not going to have any freaking money. And we're asking you to put this thing to a floor vote. And we want both of them to happen. We want you to put it to a floor vote, and we want it to pass. And you keep putting it to a floor vote until it passes. I'm trying to calm myself down because this is a consistent thing with us in the black community. Somebody come, they about to do that in Miami right now. The beach property is trash now. And the people with the money want to move the people out of Overtown in Liberty City and put up these high-rise apartments, something close to the beach, not too far. And they're going to try to push the predominantly blacks, the predominantly Haitians, and the Puerto Ricans living in that area, and the black Cubans. They're going to do whatever they can to get them out, and they're going to throw that big money. And I'm telling you guys, don't you fall for that crap. Tell them to take that money and stick it up there behind. Go find out the value of your property. Get a loan or something, because the Joe Biden plan ain't going to help you get the money. The Trump plan would have never help you get the money. But try to get some kind of loan, which you really got to put the pressure on the banks, because they're going to try to starve you out and tell you don't qualify no loan. You got the property, find out your value, get the money for the value, and you build on top of that. Keep your land and try to profit off of it. Don't let these punks come throw a little money at you, buy you out, and you go downtown and the whole black community suffer because you bought out. How did I get on this? We're supposed to be talking about James Clyburn saying F you to black people. That's what he said to this brother. This brother sit here and screamed that we're dying. And James Clyburn didn't even answer his freaking question. Ignored him. Whatever. Next question. And you let that guy represent black people. You follow that guy. You got Pied Piper by that guy. I got family members who I love dearly living in South Carolina. I can't even talk to them, man, because they on this lesser of two evil crap. I'm telling you, there's your evil right there. He's been your evil for over 20 years. What's so evil is when you got all the power and you don't want to share it. When you got all the money and you don't want to share it. That's evil. That's a father who got money, food, clothing, and shelter and don't give his kids nothing. The Bible called that a person, he's worse than an infidel. Now you got people like Al-Qaeda, Al-Nusra, and all them, they chop off the head of infidels. A person who don't take care of his own, according to scripture, is worse than an infidel. Worse. This man is worse than the infidel. He's not taking care of his own. He's taking care of himself. He's worse than the infidel. And anybody that prop up somebody like that, it's another scripture said, when you accept the prophet, you're going to receive a prophet reward. Same thing goes negatively. You keep supporting these infidels like James Clyburn, these Uncle Ruckus, these Uncle Tom, these John C. Calcouns. You keep supporting people like this, you're going to get the repercussions of those guys.
If you wait on cash payments to come out of reparations, you're going to wait forever. It's not going to happen. So what you've got to do, let me just talk. Don't put that in my face.
Why are you touching me?
Okay, all right. I'm going to leave you alone.
Cut the check. Tell Nancy Pelosi to cut the check.
Yeah.
You do that for me?
She's the treasurer.
Cut the check. Somebody better cut the check.
Well,
reparations are owed, sir.
You talk to the
ADOS. You're not going to run away from this issue, Congressman.
Oh, I'm not trying to run away from it.
It seems like you are. You're walking away right now.
Oh.
Cut the check, Congressman. Cut the check. Okay. ADOS, you're not going to walk away from this, Congressman. ADOS is everywhere. Cut the check.
What happened to you this morning, young man? You didn't get your breakfast on time. What is going on with you? You didn't get your breakfast on time.
I got plenty of breakfast.
Well,
you can tell, right?
Let's talk about it.
All right.
Let's do some social work.
Jamie Fowler, sit there and ask that man, look, what you going to do about it? We starving, bruh. You got yours. You set for life, but your community is not. And you did nothing to make sure that they're set for life. And you keep ignoring us. You're walking away. He said, well, don't touch me. You know, Jamie was like, yo, don't touch me, bro. I know you don't like the questions that I'm asking, but don't touch me. And he gonna say, and he gonna walk up. He gonna tell him, look, cut the check. And he gonna start talking. Tell Nancy Pelosi cut the check. Oh, Nancy Pelosi. It ain't about all that, man. You hear the message that he's saying, and then he start walking off. He blew Jamie Fowler off, and these old nutcases over here, these old grandmas. I'm trying to be nice. Old hags. Let me say it like that. These old hags over here talking about what's wrong with you. Let's do some social work. Come over here. Let's talk. I would have went over there and talked. In respect, ma'am, and all due respect and honor, kiss my blacker than black. I'm out here fighting for my people. What are you doing? We got something that need to get done, and we need your partnership. We want it. We're not going to depend on it, but we like your partnership. We like to depend on your partnership because you've always depended on our partnership. And we normally wouldn't say no to help these different communities out. But right now we got to focus on what that brother focused on. And we don't need people blowing us off. I'm going to say this one more time and I'm going to go. I do support Medicare for all. I do support no-cost education. I do support I do support a robust housing program. I support that, but not at the expense of getting this job done first. This government owes the black community, specifically American descendants of slaves or descendants of American slaves or foundational black Americans, they owe. And the reason this country will continue to get cursed, as my man Barack Obama's pastor used to say,
America's chickens are coming home to roost.
The reason the rooster keep coming home to this country is because this country has not made a wrong right. They owe this government. And any money that goes to anything is taken away from us. You should push this government to do what they're supposed to do concerning the black community. Force them, tell them, demand them to pay their debts. And then you start pushing these other things. And a lot of people say, Rob, you used to be on the Medicare for all, you used to preach that, you used to teach that, you used to teach no-cost education. You were a strong progressive. I still believe in some progressive policies. I'm not a, I'm black first. I'm B1 black first, but that don't mean I'm black only. I'm black first. I'm a humanist. I love and care about all people. But I'm not going to neglect my people. How can I think about doing something for you and I'm not even doing it for my own? So no, I do believe in those things, but I don't believe anything should be coming out of the pocket of the government to take care of those things until they pay this debt first. And they must pay the debt. And to have these politicians ignore that and not push that first, I got a problem. That was the problem I had with Nina Turner and any other politician that's in office right now. And that will be a continued problem. Push this first and everything else should follow behind right after we get this done. I'm Bobby Brown with the Bobby Brown Show. Always remember this. Go out there and make a mark on this world that cannot be erased. And if you had not done that yet, you can start doing that today. And I love you. Good morning and good night.